Aaron Donald, three-time Defensive Player of the Year, something Jadeveon Clowney aspires to be. Assault charges have been filed. Now, it's not charges by prosecutors. It's a criminal complaint. We need to be careful on that distinction. They've yet to decide, based upon the information provided by a man named DeVincent Spriggs, that Aaron Donald will be subject to any type of criminal charge. But Spriggs claims that he apparently bumped into Aaron Donald, Pittsburgh, out somewhere early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, and Donald beat the crap out of him, for lack of a better term. Broken arm, Spriggs claims. Concussion, Spriggs claims. 17 stitches, Spriggs claims, near his eye. And in this day and age where everyone's walking around with one of these and surveillance cameras everywhere, I assume that there will be some video evidence of whatever it is that happened to corroborate the claim, if there is any corroboration to be had, Charean. So this is a potentially serious situation for Donald. And the Rams have issued a statement that they're collecting information, the perfunctory statement that we see all the time. The league would have jurisdiction under the personal conduct policy. It's something that will develop over time, and Donald could face criminal jeopardy, civil liability, and also a suspension by the league.
I don't know how it happened, Mike, but I saw the photos of that guy's eye swollen shut. He's an out-of-stater. His attorney wouldn't say exactly where he was from, but that was just a nasty eye injury that he had. With this, you could see the stitches in the picture, and apparently had a broken nose and a broken eye socket, and just a nasty picture. However, it happened. But you know the old saying, Mike, nothing good ever happens after midnight. This was at some point at an after-hours club between 3 and 4 a.m., and they were both kicked out, and then it happened on the street, whatever the altercation was. They're looking for video now, as you said, and there's usually video of everything, as we know. But this is the time, as we talked about, Mike, that teams worry about their players because they're not always at the team facility. They're not required to be there. They're out, they go out, they party, they have fun. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's make sure that you don't get in trouble, don't get in these types of situations. Make sure you have a ride home after you've been drinking. All of those types of things, they remind their players. This is when they worry most, Mike.
And the thing that guys who have physical violence at the core of what they do, and really anyone who's that age, and you know, you got the testosterone, and you get into a fight. There's a point where getting into a fight will get you thrown in jail and will get you on the hook for potentially significant civil liability, because whatever damage you inflict, whether you meant to or not, you're responsible for it. And typically, your insurance isn't going to cover it. It's coming out of your pocket. So if you bust up a guy's eye, if you put him in the hospital, if you cause extensive dental damage, if you break his arm, anything like that, the medical bills are going to be your responsibility. Compensation for that person's pain and suffering is going to be your responsibility. It gets very expensive very quickly, and it's a lesson that plenty of players have learned, time and again. And not just athletes, but the thing is, if you're an athlete and you got the money, they're more likely to come after you. It's somebody who doesn't have money, why waste the time? But when it's somebody like Aaron Donald, there's reason to try to go get that compensation. And if he did it, he should compensate the gentleman involved for the injuries that he suffered. And it's that simple, Charean. And you're right. When players are left to their own devices, that's when teams worry, because you have to trust that they're always going to make good decisions. And sometimes it's not a significant percentage. It's just a few. And Aaron Donald, not a guy that we'd peg for something like this, and it's innocent until proven guilty, and we don't know whether he did it or not. But it's that small percentage that attracts attention, and it makes players who don't get in trouble look bad.
Yeah, and let's hope that, whatever happened, that he works this out and figures it out, and maybe it didn't even happen, and that would be great if Aaron Donald really wasn't even involved in this, but we'll find out as this process plays out, Mike. But let me ask you this, as an attorney, do you settle this thing? I mean, he's still going to be subject to the personal conduct policy of the NFL, but would you, if you're in his situation and you actually did this, would you just go try to settle it with this man?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Write him a check for a fair payment for what he experienced, the damage that you inflicted, if you did it. If you didn't do it, then, who knows at this point? If there was never an altercation involving Aaron Donald, if it was a case of mistaken identity, whatever the case may be, then you hold firm. But if Aaron Donald punched this guy or shoved this guy or did whatever that caused that damage, then you make it right. You definitely make it right. And a lot of times that's what avoids the criminal charges. And you know, as we said in the context of the Deshaun Watson case that we're going to talk about in a second, justice comes in various forms, and it's the victim of the wrongdoing that gets to pick the justice that he or she wants. And sometimes it's enough to get compensation for your injuries, and you no longer are motivated to pursue criminal charges. That could happen as well. So, yeah, if I'm Aaron Donald and I did this, I am pulling out the checkbook, and I am apologizing profusely, and I am writing a check to make this right for the gentleman who I injured if I did it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.